Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I am James Howell, and tonight we're doing Killer 7, Part 4. Give me 1 second, I need to put the tweet announcement up there. Oh no. Those are all the wrong things to hit. So I'm opening up the other OBS, closing my Twitter tab. There we go. And that's it. Good. Anyway, yes, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. And tonight, we're going to start Cloudman, Kumohito, I believe it is in the Japanese version, where we meet Andre Almeida, the most gifable character in the entire game. And we will absolutely hit that moment really shortly after his first appearance. So, but yeah, it's going to be, it's one of my favorite chapters. It is a favorite overall and has some neat intersections with Hand and Killer 7 for some of the background it sort of supplies on his character and what he does and what he means. So, but yeah, for the pre-game show here, 1 second, I've got continued reading Robert Penn Warren this week, and still just really digging his work so much. Every time I rediscover it, it is a pleasure. And it's also interesting looking at his stuff and reflecting back on my own sort of poetry, which he was the first poet who I sort of like consciously started to copy in terms of tone and length. What length of poem is a really interesting question in terms of what a particular poet considers to be like a finished length. Everybody has their own sort of like stopping point. And Warren's used to be mine as well. You can kind of see what the let's see if I can get that there. Yeah, you can kind of see one entire page, a little bit of the next. And here is another one, Code Book Lost. You know, it's about that length, and that's what has felt right to me for a very long time. And then as time went on, that sort of started to diminish and shrink. And now I'm in a different place entirely. And that's the wonder of going back and visiting your artistic forebears and seeing how far you have grown from the start that they gave you. So yeah, going back and reading that stuff years later is a pleasure. Also resumed, stream regular in chat, Final Technique, and I started an art project a while back based on the Middle English Physiologus, which is a 11th century bestiary that follows the bestiary patterns of the Middle Ages, which is rather than the naturalistic descriptions that you find in bestiaries prior to that in the classical world. Bestiaries under Christendom began to sort of pair not always accurate naturalistic observations with moral points, and that's kind of where this lands us. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. So this is a photograph of my notes, this right here, and as you can see, you know, it's not a language you're going to have to speak to anybody, so you don't always commit all of it to memory. And also with Middle English, this is more true with Middle English than it is with Old English, and that is only because, well, let me say what I'm saying. The fact that orthography varies so drastically between different works in Middle English is because there are so many more continuing to exist extant Middle English works than Old English, and so even if you have a notion about what a word looks like in one context, that's not always what it's going to be in the others. So, like, you know, I am not an expert. I am at my best intermediate with this, and so I annotate heavily. But yeah, it's beautiful stuff, and you can absolutely tell this is where the francophone prosody has entered into English poetry, because we've got end rhyme, there's ba-da 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 rhythm, and it's just beautiful. I'm going to take a shot at this. Nobody who knows Middle English judge me. Kithen I willa the earnest kinde, also ich it boka reda. Wo he knoweth his youthhead, who he cometh ut of elde, sithen his limbs arn unwelde, sithen his beck is alto wrong, sithen his fleet is all unstrong, and his eyen dimme. Hereth wo he knoweth him, at wella he saketh that springeth I, botha by nicht and by die, thereour he flayeth and up he tith, till that he the heaven sith. So yeah, so it's the kind of the idea here is this is describing an eagle, and the way an eagle renews its youth, according to this, is he gets let's see, limb is arn unwelde, his arms are all gangly, his beak is all too wrong, his beak is all crooked. His fleet is all unstrong. His flight is weak, and it's great. Like the word they use for weak is unstrong, and that's like, yeah, it's like, do it. There's no one stopping you. No one's codified anything yet. So yeah, so he's looking for like a special spring or a special well, and he flies really high up, and then as he gets near the sun, all of his flight and his strength goes away, and he just flies straight down, burning on fire from the heat of the sun into the well. And then he pops up and renews himself. And this is very clearly like kind of like a blending of a phoenix and an eagle, right? And but the idea here is this is the reason this is a very much a Middle English, Middle Ages bestiary entry and not a classical bestiary entry. Is this is combining these naturalistic observations, which I don't think are correct, with the notion of a person redeeming themselves or renewing their moral fortitude by getting to know God. You know, it's like they get close to the sun. The sun is clearly a metaphor for the Trinity, and then they get singed by that. Their wrong ways are all burned out, and they go down into the water. It's a baptism image, and they come back up, and they're strong, and that's how you should be as a human being. Be like the eagle. And so this is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting back into this more. And on a very different end of the medium spectrum, yes, definitely pre-Darwin. Thank you, Mirth, and good to see you, Iceman Dan. I actually love wrong naturalism more than I like. I mean, obviously science is wonderful, observation is great, and I love birds. I love knowing them, I love seeing them, I love knowing how they work and their bones and all that other stuff. But I also love the snippets and visions of animals that were attained before consistent observation could be secured, and how we fill in the gap, or how our ancestors filled in the gaps. So it's lovely stuff. And thank you, Mirth. I'm thinking, man, if I find more Warren to share, that'd be a good time. But on the very different end of the media spectrum, let's see. Here we go. So I watched Blackmail Is My Life, the very unambiguously named. You know exactly what that's about. Evening Peas. Best Smith. I mean, Master Smith is closest to my heart. Dan Smith is my more regular, often than not, boots on the field. And the other Smiths all have their place. That's kind of where they land with me. And Garcian is, Garcian and Mask. Those are like the toss-up for the Smith that lives closest to my heart, because they're both the softest characters. You know, they're likable in some way, and so that works. But yeah, so this is one of Fukasaku's crime movies, and it's so strange. It's very interesting, and I really dig it. Because it starts out as this movie about like this ragtag game of, they're blackmailers, but they're kind of folk hero blackmailers, right? They're a cool club of people, kind of outcasts, and they pick targets that nobody's really going to disagree with them going after, and it's that sort of like amoral rogue who you can get behind because they're not really hurting anybody who you would root for anyway. So, and it's kind of cool. Like here they are in their little clubhouse, and they've got their own little like fight club thing. It's like, what are the 3 rules to blackmail? And just in the style of just like really appreciating how space is broken up here. Just really dig how this visually works. So it's like, it's got Shun, he's the leader there, and so he's the one who's sort of like giving like the clarion call to their little code here, and she says, don't make any new friends. That's one. So you got the one finger up there. Cut to Joe, or Zero, I'm sorry, his name is Zero. Don't push too hard. And you can see that, like he puts his fingers up like that, and her finger in the frame is like fitting right through there. So you've got the 3, and then it cuts to him, and his hand fills up the space there. Never hit up the same mark twice. And then it cuts back to Shun, and so you've got all of their hands there, and there's this sort of like blossoming, like it fits the space so perfectly, and it's so good. But yeah. So they're kind of this ragtag gang, and you kind of go through many of their escapades in sort of like the targets they hit. They're going after, they're like kind of like what's the guy's name? The pirate, the privateer who. The pirate who hunted other pirates, I think it was Ryuji's persona in Persona 5. Captain Kidd, yeah. So they're kind of like a Captain Kidd. They're the blackmailers who go after other blackmailers and small gangs and stuff like that. They go through, they have their successes, so there they are. If they're a hard-won 10 grand, so they're very excited over low stakes. And, they immediately go out and like buy cars and stuff like that. And then as it goes on and it kind of like escalates, they really start to take advantage of just these very beautifully oriented, what's the word I'm looking for? Composed shots, where here there's this like, I don't know what kind of yard this is, clearly a junkyard, but you see these crates that are lined up that are arcing up on the side, and that's beautiful, the way that space is broken up. And here they do like just a really nice use of silhouetting the entire yard against the fading light. And that's Zero as he is making his way to the rendezvous, and it's just gorgeous what they do with the lighting on those slats, just sort of all pointing to his face. I mean, it's like most of them are pointing to his face. But a lot of them are just sort of creating like this sort of like horizontal composition, right? This horizontal composition there on the lower left, and it's just beautiful how it frames that. And what's really cool about that shot right there is that's actually in the background of another shot. And so it's you don't see him there, and then it zooms in on him, and so then you know that he is there, and so yeah, so that it just kind of pulls that out of its back pocket. And this right here is where he's continuing to make his way to the rendezvous. Yeah, Fukusaka does some amazing things with shot composition, and this is another one that I like, which is you have the depth here with those pipes that are sort of pointing to the background. They're clearly 3D depth because you have objects in the distance, but then it uses these foregrounded silhouettes in the upper right and the lower right to create a two-dimensionality to it. So it's this is something that stylistically shows up in Killer 7 that I like quite a lot. I mean, you can almost see this sort of style if you pay attention when the Smiths get to different junctions and you have to choose. It's like you have the 3D space, but then it flattens the screen into little shards and glass, almost like glass-like shards, sort of spanning out from where your character is. And that's what this does here too. There's a flatness to it and a three-dimensionality, and that's how it works. Yeah, and so it also does something really interesting with flashbacks. It's like it uses flashbacks heavily, and here Shun got beaten up because he got into business he shouldn't have. It's a crime movie. And but what they always do is they always segue from the black and white, and then they immediately move to color shots as the flashback continues. So it's not, so even when they're going to linger on a flashback, they introduce you as the audience to the moment of the flashback, and then they continue to play it as though it's in the current moment. So there's kind of like a sense that memory is this active moment. It's like the past made present, and I think that's very cool. I don't think I've seen Fukusaka do that in any of his other movies, and that's one of the things that is neat about him, is his inconsistency in terms of applying the same techniques across different films. And what makes this really interesting as a crime movie is kind of the high-level story. So again, like as I mentioned, there's sort of this ragtag gang of criminals, and you kind of grow to love them. They're sort of Robin Hoods. They're the thieves who go after thieves. But in terms of crime movies, there are just a very small number of high-level stories. There's and you can kind of break them down into two categories: crime doesn't pay and crime pays. The crime doesn't pay story is the detective succeeds or the criminal fails, depending on who your main character is. Crime pays is the detective fails or the criminal succeeds. You kind of maybe like your Ocean's 11 kind of thing. So those are kind of your high-level crime stories. And this is weird because it's like, if there's a moral here, the story is that crime pays as long as you don't punch above your weight. Like, there's actually a class and a skill division between criminals, and we get to see our lovable rogues succeed, and so you can sort of root for them until they try to blackmail, like, government and, like, high organized crime marks, at which point they just fail spectacularly, just absolutely fall on their face. And the movie, I mean, it kind of leads you to think that they're going to succeed, like it's going to be a happy ending kind of thing. And so it gives you these sort of overtures to sort of like underdog success, where it's like shows like the bigger they are, the more reason to take them down. And you know, the high level marks are taunting them, and they kind of get scrappy. It's like, we're just a couple of punks. That's why we're using punk tactics. You know, like this sort of you know, scrappy underdog's going to win using scrappy underdog tactics. And it absolutely does not work, because the people who they're trying to blackmail are far more sophisticated in connections, technique, and what that game is, and they just shut them down immediately. They spend the entire last third of the film trying to get their hands on this one piece of damning political documentation, only to find that they are able, like, the people who they're trying to blackmail are completely able to take the wind out of that, yeah, it's like the memorandum that they're trying to get a hold of is suddenly meaningless, and in the last like 10 minutes, the main character gets knifed in public, and that's it. His last line is, "Wow, what a stupid way to die," and that's it. That's it. That's the movie. And so yeah, so it's very cool in how it. And this is also another thing that, you know, comparing different media that I'm paying attention to. Evening Swedish X. And, I mean, if you can rent it, do it. That's what I do. And Scarecrow Video in Seattle is a fantastic resource. And I think they're actually bidding to do mail order soon, so they might actually be able to expand their reach. So Scarecrow Video, Seattle, take a look at it. But yeah, so killer7 kind of does the same thing, where it builds up this really good feeling. Actually, Suda games in general do this, now that I think about it. The Silver Case does this also, where you build up this really good feeling among comrades, and then as you get toward the end, the group dissolves, things go to hell, things stop working out, and at the end, you're left with this sort of weirdly despairing, almost nihilistic sense, where there used to be a sense of warmth. And so yeah, so Fukasaku's Blackmails My Life does the same thing. So, and with that in mind, we can jump into killer7. Also, Swedish X, good to see you, in case I didn't say that. Let's see. Oh wait, I better turn back to the game channel so you all can see what we're playing. That seems important. There we go. Let's see. Let's make this normal, not widescreen. One of these days I'm going to get a remote control for this thing. But that day is not today. I've got to tell you, it has been murderously hot here. Smoke season is back with a vengeance. And so that has meant shutting off all fresh air blowing through, closing all the windows down, taping and tarping over the most vulnerable spots, and I got to tell you, in a region whose buildings are designed to breathe and for breezeways through, global warming is not kind. I mean, it's not kind anywhere, but this is how it's unkind here. Oh. Yeah, no, the heat did leave here a little bit. Back. Ooh, that's loud. Let's turn that down. We did have the 100+ degree heat, which is, I talked to my friends who live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I used to live in North Texas, and regularly encountered temperatures equal to or worse than that. And I gotta tell you, it's all about regional preparation. It's all about infrastructure, yes, air quality is really bad. It's not as bad as it was last year, thank goodness. And we are getting some of the fire for our. I mean, we're concerned about the entire West Coast being on fire, obviously, but I think the Oregon fires are the ones that pose the greatest. The Oregon and Canadian fires are the ones that pose the greatest threat to us where we are, and I'm just really hoping, apologies to everybody eastward from us, I'm really hoping the wind doesn't blow it back this way. That's the other thing that sucks about climate change, right? It's not like you can pass it over to some neutral place. Wherever misfortune is shuttled off to, somebody else has got to take it. And I really, really hope that we can get our act together. And I mean, I think this is supposed to be the best year out of the next 30. And that's assuming best case scenario we can turn stuff around. Yeah, Swedish X. It was around 300 here at one point last year. Oh. Alright, there we go. Weird, it must have calibrated wrong. Yes, a closed system indeed. In fact, the closedness of it is one of the reasons it is getting so awful. Let's see, 811. This looks like my saved game. Let's just do the basic date mathing. There we go. Cool. Andre Almeida. Speaking of Texas. And so Almeida is interesting, specifically, especially like if you go back and read Hand in Killer 7. Almeida was like a postal clerk who got his hands on part of the Yakimo and then was able to use that. Oh, here we go.
My name's Andre Almeida. I am a man with a plan. The people will come to me for salvation. I have a hunch that something's gonna happen. Take this Stacy concert going on right here. Something very bad is gonna happen here. You ever met the kind of people that come to these Stacy concerts? These dudes have got energy to spare. We're talking guys who beat off 4 times.
And there's your Killer 7 gif.
This is an epicenter of energy, man. But this Stacy they love, she's an illusion. But in the new age, there's no fooling.
And one of the things that is strange about this is, well, I'll tell you in a sec.
Anymore. Oh my God! I can't hold back.
I really wonder, like, what the direction was for Cam Clark.
See, I told you, this is real.
Yeah, that must have been something in the VO booth. Cam Clark does a fantastic job with Andre Almeida, and this is absolutely classic Suda Goichi excess.
Smith, I'm challenging you. I've created a new faith. I want you to find me. I'm waiting for you. So what do you say? If you don't find me, I won't have meaning. So I'll be waiting for you.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Look at that analog TV Garcian has. That's relevant. Let's see. So yeah, oh yeah, this is the other excess. This is where Suda absolutely lets you know that he is interested in pushing boundaries. Whoop. Well, the controller fell, but I'm actually fine skipping that. So yeah. So it's sensationalistic, but one of the things that the Andre Almeida, like, you have to kind of look at the broad strokes of what it's doing there rather than sort of get, hung up on the specifics of the very over-the-top performance. there is a tension between illusion and reality that runs through a lot of Suda's games, and that is one of the things that is very much a part of Almeida's sort of thing there, which is that the things of this world are elusive and distracting, and that if you sort of can get your eye on the prize, if you can get your eye on reality, then you sort of attain great power, and that connects to what his backstory turns out to be in Hand and Killer 7, which is he used to be a postal clerk who got his hands on a portion of the Yakumo, which again is this sort of political spiritual document that enabled him to create a visionary community, as the theme song is called, which is both spiritual and also civic. And it's like the idea is the Yakumo is this sort of like, it's this nationalistic policy, and he has insight into how that ticks, which enables him to cut through the wasteful energy expenditures of day-to-day life and harness it for his own ends, which is how he has his community. And that is a lot that isn't shown. You kind of have to read it in between the lines, in addition to some of the additional information in Hand and Killer 7. So that's kind of where he's coming from there.
The master is awake.
Really? I don't think I've seen that, Swedish
Howell
X.
in the south.
A young man is causing some commotion.
Not a revolutionary.
He's no one of that caliber, sir.
The town is far. I shall stay here with my dear Samantha.
Yes, I am. Please do.
I'm counting on you.
Yes, sir.
Samantha. The lights.
Of course, sir.
Something else that's interesting about Almeida's characterization there is that, I mean, you can absolutely tell there's a difference in gravity between him and Hirokasai and Fukushima. Like, so when Garcian says, like, nobody of that caliber, that's absolutely something he's referring to. This is somebody who does not have the gravity of a mastermind. And this is where Garcian brings out some fantastic logic to pinpoint the location of his target.
Who in the hell was that? What, a new type of stalker?
I feel something. Like somebody's calling out to me.
You can't last in this business relying on feelings, but I trust you know that.
Let's hit Texas first.
Texas?
The t-shirt. Nobody wears a t-shirt that says Texas Bronco, except in Texas.
Huh?
Time to head south by southeast.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Texas's branding in this world is so bad that only people in Texas would wear shirts marked Texas. And that is, let's see. That's very close to the border. I know that No More Heroes trouble at Almeida Intercity, the ideal city. I mean, honestly, there...
Well, we don't get many black folk around
Oh,
here.
yes. It continues to be
What
uncomfortable.
brings you to town, Almeida? Yes, I see.
Yeah, Suda's definitely hitting up a lot of the
Just
American
meeting today.
stereotypes. But
I meet him
but yeah,
every day.
so even though he is clearly relying on,
Saw the posters around town.
even though he's clearly relying on the idea that only people in Texas would wear a Texas shirt, Texas is actually very in love with Texas. And if you go down there, you will find cheeses in the shape of Texas.
This is a mean town, and they'll do anything to protect the great Olmeda.
Yeah, Time Zombie, this is in love with the state of Washington, because, and as a matter of fact, even to the point of being a little bit of a misnomer, because I think that at one point a crucial plot point depends upon Washington being the seat of the country, but I think it kind of confuses Washington State with Washington D.C., and yeah, it's a strange talking point. Which is one of the things that makes me wonder if, like, the Texas, like, clearly he's in Texas, so, he, you know, he wears a Texas shirt, so clearly he's in Texas, is more of a sort of, like, broad stroke, hand-wavy away of, trying to, dismiss the problem, or if, it is, there's Olmeda, in all of his low-res glory. He does like his Texas Broncos shirt. That is absolutely his brand. And that tower right there becomes relevant later, and the fact that it is showing up here as a standee is also significant. Thank you, Swedish X. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, one of the things that Olmeda has done to build his empire is, so in this world, I mentioned that Garcian's TV being analog was really important, is so digital technology has been reduced severely in this world, and as a result, analog technology and mail order, and sort of like postal mail, is the way that a lot of business and information stuff is handled. And Olmeda, as a postal clerk, established a sort of like a catalog company, I think, and was able to use this catalog company as a way of distributing information. Distributing information that previously would have been more easy to sort of get around with digital technology. And so it's kind of, he kind of basically supplies a side business of data exchange through these, like, I don't know, like furniture catalogs or whatever it is that he sells. Really? I do not remember that. Actually, not only is Olmeda's branding strong for himself, it is also strong for his acolytes. Oh dear. Oh, Coyote's having a bad day. Oh, right out of the gate. Actually, this is a nice freebie to give you, because the shirts, ridiculously, are the weak points. Although it doesn't really give you much by way of blood in either event. Oh man. All right, see if we can. This one's for all the beans. Whew. They are. It is much easier to navigate the Heaven Smiles in close quarters. Oh man, Coyote has had a bad time of it.
Don't make me say it again. I'm a...
Oh no, I don't think I even entered a Harmon's room before Coyote bit the dust.
Son of a bitch.
There we go. One of the nice things about the Almeida Smiles is that they just keep running on their way. The other Heaven Smiles are very interested in, grabbing you and blowing up. They will not attack you unless provoked. They are just at home in their visionary community.
Look, I'm a cleaner.
Let's see if we can do this.
I feel no remorse for seeing a dead body. To me, it's merely cold, rotting flesh.
See if Coyote can have a better time of it now. I swear I hear somebody running. That would be him. Oh my god, why can I hit nothing? Oh man. Yeah, maybe Coyote isn't our best guy out this time through. I am bad at murdering. It's not, Who is here? I have a feeling that... the little flying fella... Oh, that's not gonna go well. Yeah, no, video games have taught me to play video games. And that's about it. There's Travis living in the other killer7 gif on the internet right there. Yeah, this is the juxtaposition here is ridiculous, but yes, this is where Travis is telling you about Andre Almeida's business model. Yes, Time Zombie. I mean, I don't really know what happened to Jack Thompson. Is there something I can do here with Mask and the... Yeah, there we go. I think Jack Thompson served as, I don't know, he kind of dominated a conversation that could have been a lot more interesting and nuanced about the impacts that video games and gaming can have on individuals, education, moral choice, etc. And I don't think the answers that he reached are the right ones. But yeah, I mean, it's like, in order to have a nuanced conversation, you have to be able to consider multiple points of view, and Jack Thompson sort of dominated that one in particular. And I think to the detriment of overall discourse on that. That's the kind of thing when you have somebody who is just sort of cartoonishly large and representing a point of view that, you know, it becomes much more noise than anybody's able to talk over. I think that the censorship sound effects are probably the third expense they had for VO on the Remnant Psyches here. I didn't know that he lost his law license. Oh, stamina ring, thank God. Coyote needs this badly. I do remember, I don't know, I kind of remember that when Penny Arcade was starting, Jack Thompson was one of the targets for a lot of their earlier stuff, which gave them a sort of countercultural edge, or you know, made them standard bearers of pro gamer culture. Oh dear. Agreed, Swedish X. There are some things that are forbidden even to be spoken behind two different layers of filter. I mean, it's not wrong, but it's also not the context that you would normally see it in. I believe that's the, if I'm remembering correctly, that's just the sort of like paragraph mark that shows a carriage return prior to an indentation in a new paragraph. Oh, Coyote's got exactly one hit left in him. You know it is hot in your place when the cats do not even have the energy to be bad. Okay. Whew. Okay. I need Coyote alive so I can solve some problems with him later. This road down here is where I want to turn. Oh, there was... Oh no, it's further on down, that's right. Oh dear. I can't help but feel that Coyote would be more successful if he didn't hold his gun like this, but who am I to interfere with a man's style? They've got a runner. I am gonna absolutely need mass to take this one to the team. Okay, please don't die, Mask. I do not have the wrist strength to be able to resurrect you. I think Mask is going to be my guy to waste a bunch of Heaven Smiles, so I can then unlock Dan or Khan or literally anybody. Because Kaede is way too slow for, and I'm also not very good with her. As badly as I'm doing with Coyote and Mask, can I? Okay, good. That does give me thin blood. Kaede uses a two-hand grip. Hers is a sniper weapon. Oh. Well, see ya. Goodbye. Yeah, this game is surprising as a Capcom release on a Nintendo platform, for sure. Game is edgy in both language and content. Let's see.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Which, I don't know. It's, this stream is actually getting at some of the things that make me sort of, I don't know. Like, killer7 has some of my favorite things in a video game, both for its visual design, the way that it tells its story, and the way that it tells the story, the localization, and the kind of story that it tells. A lot of the things that signal like loudest about the game, it's sensationalism, you know, it's sort of like more crude humor and that sort of thing. That's not the draw for me. If there were a game that consisted of that, I would not play it. So it's always kind of a mixed bag where you just sort of I mean that's the game's style, and what it does is interesting enough to sort of stick with it, but it's not the reason I'm here. Yes, it did. Like for Suda to make his first for Suda's first game released widely in the U.S. to be a frankly damning critique of Japanese dependence on American military presence, and not in a way in a way that is very critical of American policy, that is extremely bold. That is an extremely bold move, and that interests me. You know. The gifable moments, you know, Travis in the last appearance, Almeida's entry, those are just not the interesting things to me. Really? I did not know that. That's interesting. They will absolutely attack you here, and I'm guessing that is because I am breaking into their homes. Which is, excuse me, as far as puzzles go, that is a very neat thing about the way this is being executed, which is, you are Coyote, you are the thief, and, you know, he can pick a lock single-handedly, and, the way that you poke around these places is you are breaking into people's homes, even though those people are, you know, they are heaven smiles. You're still breaking into their bedrooms. I agree, Swedish X. I think that also, I mean, there's something about that gives it a comic book style charm, right? I am actually not a fan of dark and edgy. It feels a little cliche to me, and also feels like a place to emulate emotional content where emotional substance doesn't exist. And I find that anything that is genuine and earnest, regardless of whether or not it is dark or edgy, is a better target to kind of hit creatively. So, you know, something that maintains a sort of a comic book tone without needing to get kind of without needing to rely on that, I feel like is stronger work. Oh, hey. Haven't seen one of these guys in a while.
You're fucked.
Now that we have blood to heal, Coyote is having a much better day.
You're fucked.
Huh. No, I did not know that. That is new trivia to me, Time Zombie.
You're fucked.
I know there's a ring that I need. I think there's a water. I think I have the water ring, which is the solution to the puzzle. It's just finding the right house, and I feel like there's probably a hint that I would have caught on if I were not talking. Evening, Sim. It's good to see you. Actually... Whoop. Even though I do want to find the hint and do this the smart way, I think this is actually where I do need to be. Evening, Swimmy. It's good to see you. Oh, hi. Well, if you want to... Oh, nifty. Killer7 or pseudo discussions missed. Let's see. Well, with the Almeida chapter, we've really kind of hit the game's stride, where it's doing a lot of the sort of like very bombastic, kind of crude, very, very visible fireworks kind of stylized things that that Killer7 does, and that Suda does in other games, but a little less bombastically in this. And so I talked a little bit about how that's not really the thing that draws me to the game, and it's something I just sort of build patience for. But that's about it. Also, there was I gave a little bit of background on Almeida and why he is interesting, and just to summarize that real quick is that he, in this world where digital information exchange has been shut down and analog is the only way that things can be transmitted, he managed to create a catalog distribution company masquerading as a wholesaler that doesn't actually sell anything, and the actual product is information that would have been transmitted digitally. So he is effectively using a catalog company masquerading as a wholesaler to take the place of the internet. And that's why I'm here. That's what's cool about this to me. Ring. That is a lovely face and object design. A time zombie, that is all super new to me. I was only familiar with the very, I mean, the main games released on the NES were very family values, and that's the main, those are the main games I was familiar with. Descriptors like what, Swedish X? Wait, this is the way I came from? So, I remember there is the object... and then there is... I seem to remember there was another room here where there is an action figure, an Almeida action figure crammed into a crack. Yeah, I think that the existence of this analog, of this trading, this catalog company being like a black market internet is, I mean, in terms of what the actual canon story of this game is, you have your pick of options, and that's the one that interests me most.
Don't make me think.
What the fuck are you looking at?
Sorry, pal, but this is the moment I've been waiting for. I have to do this so the anger inside will not go away.
I'm guessing that's Coyote talking to Coyote or Coyote talking to Garcian.
I'm not a monster, it's only a mask.
And I imagine that Coyote calling Mask a monster probably defines their relationship more than Mask would like. Yeah, Sim, I think that's, I think that's a fine read. One of the reasons that enables, I think one of the things that enables him to be able to run a black market internet is the fact that he has this scrap of the Yakumo, which gives him some sort of guidance to know how to do that. And presumably, if he's able to do that with part of the Yakumo, then the rest of it is sort of disseminated across the, what are you doing, kiddo? Disseminated across the rest of the world. Say hello. Hello. Yes, right here's a piece of the Yakumo. Psycho-spiritual national policy right here. I previously said it was too hot for cats to be bad, but clearly that time has passed. Yes, she articulates quite well. How many? 7 more before I can wake up Kevin. Oh god, I really...
Jeez, you still are an ugly fella. How's it been? Huh?
So, yeah, this is another another instance where I do think that the characters on the TV are talking to the person, to the Smith that takes control first. Because Dan and Coyote hate each other, and this is absolutely Dan's cocksure attitude towards somebody who,
Don't make me... Jeez, you still are an ugly fella. How's it been, huh?
Yeah, somebody who he's on the outs with. Now, depending upon how your cat is when they are awake, that could be a good thing to keep in mind. I like her when she's awake and sprightly. Sometimes if I'm trying to do something, it is better to let sleeping cats lie. I think that cat ownership is an easier experience if you come into it with expectations, and if you allow those expectations to be set by the animal themselves. Oh, come on now. Well, goodbye. I seriously missed that? Oh man, brutal.
This is too easy. Collateral shot.
There we go. Oop, that's a bad time to reload.
This is too easy. Collateral shot.
Interesting. Now let's get Coyote back. That's interesting. The Akamo being a real thing. I don't know. It makes sense to me in the context of how the rest of it plays out. In particular, Kunlan's I don't know. Kunlan's role as what's the word? Not ambassador, not mentor, sponsor, I guess, of the United Nations Party. Seems like the kind of thing that he would have a hand in, pun unintended. All right. Can I do this ever? Of course your weak spot is on the arm that's facing away from me. Oh, weird. Do I get that camera angle again if I go back in? Yeah, there we go. That's nifty. Does it reset the weak point? Oh, cool. I don't know if you can hear the audio, but it's 3D positional audio relative to wherever the camera is. So usually the camera is right behind your Smith, so it's like right there in your ear. But it's over here far away in the left speaker. That's neat. Time Zombie, I do not. I just do not know what the magic sweet spot is on those guys' weak points. No, I do not. Oh, we actually need Coyote for this after all. I was unaware that they had recorded anything for Kevin, and I'm curious to know who the voice actor would have been on it, if they did. I've never played any of the World Ends With You games, but I've heard fine things about them as JRPGs. Actually, Swimmy, knowing how much of an aficionado you are on... See, I know that you played a lot of Ys, Final Fantasy V, and Chrono Trigger, I want to say? It seems like your opinion on that would be well informed. It's very interesting to me that there's like all this... say broken glass here down this hallway. Well, it's hard to know if it is, I don't know if it's used in the original Time Zombie or if it is a localization decision. Oh man. I think I absolutely want Kevin for what I remember is coming up. What? There we go. Okay, so the one for the Switch is a sequel. Gotcha. For some reason, I thought The World Ends With You was a multi-platform release. That egg just makes it very simple, right? Just 180 about face. Oh god!
Yes.
Thank God for down attacks. Hello? Can I get your attention? Alright, so here's how we're gonna do this. Oh, there's a vice presidential cat who wants out. Vice president compared to Samson, who is clearly the president. So, we're gonna heal up Mask. And have him rush this. With the stamina ring on, and that should... Yep, there we go. That should do it. Thanks, buddy. Well, thank you, Time Zombie. Yeah, I think that is less a problem on the PC version, the PC re-release. Where's Harmon's room? Yeah, Harmon's room's down this way, I think. That's really interesting. Did they find that in the source files for the PC version, or was that data mined off the disk? Oh, cool. Alright, good. There are some smiles coming up, the giant smiles that I consistently fail at, and I know this from years of playing this game. So,
Sorry, pal.
Kevin's invincibility is a godsend. Huh, no way, I didn't know that. I think you run into Julia Kasugi again, or at least her remnant psyche, which interests me because other remnant psyches show up kind of around the places of their death. And Harmon has the ability to sort of absorb people into his sort of Harmon sphere, his sort of like psychic world. And the ones who are compatible become Smiths, and the ones who are not become remnant psyches, like Travis, and you know, kind of the mid-tier of compatibility has them sticking around as supporters. Then you have the light compatibility where, like, you know, I guess like Julia Kasugi just kind of sticks around Harmon and shows up all the way down here in Texas from their meeting place in, I think it was DC. Yeah, Time Zombie. That's kind of a Grasshopper manufacturer sort of staple. I believe the either visual art designer or the lead artist for Grasshopper, his name is Ishizaka, and so ISCK is the abbreviation that's put on all the media objects in these games. It's in Michigan as well, I remember. Oh god. Oh, weird. His eye opens and closes. Later. I will have none of that, please. Oh, well, thank you. Well, you know, when I get interested in something, I go all in and research everything I can out of it. And so when I became captivated by killer7's storytelling style and visual aesthetic, I found out as much about it as I possibly could. And one of the benefits of that was being able to, you know, with my cohort, translate hand in killer7 and bring that to folks. So, paying it forward. Oh, wait. Did I get them both? No. Wait. That's where I came from? Cool. Alameda City and the later, I think, Trevor Pearl Harbor's level are the only ones that really confuse me because the environments look a little samey. What? I think I might have missed a clue, because I sure don't remember that. Oh, I didn't know he'd left Grasshopper. Yeah, once I learn something, when I do a deep dive onto something, my knowledge of it is kind of a snapshot of whatever that thing's reality was at the time. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine, because this is a just lovely visual composition. See, this is what I mean by like the 2D and 3D overlapping. The polygonal shapes call attention to the shape of your screen, and then the background itself goes into the distance that's created. You can even see the little runner there in the blue, and then he shows up there. It's just visually fascinating. But yeah, it's and if anybody happens to know what the code to that thing is off the top of their head, because I'm not super interested in problem solving at the moment, that would be awesome. But I'll take a look for that in a second if nobody would like to do that. Hustle? Thank you. That's it. Of course. That is what Kevin is doing. He is hustling. Eric, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you are doing well. And if you are in our neck of the woods, I hope you are keeping free of the smoke. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you listened to that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Michael is fantastic, very insightful, and I love speaking to people about areas of their expertise, and especially those who are accustomed to sharing it. And he was fantastic to speak with. Yeah, if anybody is interested, the latest Deltahead podcast looks at Gone Home through the lens of a couple of poems from the 18th century. They're a particular genre called the country house poem, and they look at Gone Home through the lens of its environment and what that means in the context of other poems that are able to look at spaces that have an air of abandonment to them. So yeah, it's a good episode, and I recommend it. Oh, fantastic. Thank you for letting me know you're streaming. I will check out your archive if you have those set up to record. Yes, I am in the smoke, unfortunately. Oh no. Oh no, I don't have any more blood. I might have to do this the honest way. And by honest way, I mean have Mask eat all of it. You just run through? No way. Oh my god, I didn't even know that! That's brilliant, thank you. I thought you were talking about the previous area. That is absolutely something I want to use. Oh man, Yakuza 4 is fantastic. Yakuza 4 figured out the, let's see, do you play as... No, you know, Yakuza 4 figured out the formula for multiple protagonists that the rest of the series was able to, really profit from. Come to the drugstore. It is the photograph of Almeida that is necessary. It's interesting that drugstore is whited out then written over as though this is something that is such a devious exchange that they have to change locations. Oh, that's fantastic, Sim. Which one are you playing? It is a series that is dear to my heart. Oh, interesting. If you look below that, it looks like there's kanji on a background layer to the English. That's interesting. Though for some reason my brain is also scanning it as Hangul. It's kind of hard to tell. I think it is flipped, so it's a little harder to read. Yeah, Akiyama, a lot of folks love Akiyama, and I think that his prominence in Yakuza 4 goes a long way toward establishing the tone of that game. He's actually, if your friend likes Shun Akiyama, I highly recommend playing Yakuza Dead Souls, that weird non-canon zombie shooter. As a matter of fact, if you like Yakuza 4, you should also play Yakuza Dead Souls. At least for the first chapter, you'll understand what it is immediately, and if you're not into the shooting mechanics, then no worries. But if you dig the Yakuza style of hand-wringing drama storytelling, and you want that mixed with, like, Walking Dead, there you go. Oh, I love Dead Souls. Are you still there? Did you blow up in my absence? Oh, that was not nearly as disastrous as I thought it would be. Collect collections to meet the president. Sign up at the post office. It is a shame that the UI covers that very interesting image It's also really interesting. This is something that you encounter when you look at the puzzles and the Switch puzzles, and you see something much more representational in direct first-person view than you see when looking at the stylized environment. Is you can just kind of see the lines and the definition in Almeida's face. That it actually looks quite a bit longer there in that picture than it does in his character model, and that's super interesting to me. Just the mixture of styles that come to the fore here. You can see it in your pause menu. No way. Holy cow, I'm learning all sorts of things today. I do remember being able to spin the models around the bottle cap collection. I don't remember this, I don't remember being able to see the poster at this screen though. Oh, this is awesome. I think this is also a differently detailed model of Almeida's face. At least it has shading that is different from the normal Killer 7 overworld style. Stoydell, you will be even more fascinated when you find out how deep the production values go on it and how many cutscenes they made for it. Kiryu has maybe one of my favorite Kiryu moments when he decides to enter the quarantine zone, and I will say no more because it's beautiful. I'm trying to think, is this song on the OST? I've listened to the OST a million times for years, and I don't think this is on there. Or I just skipped the track. Oh, that's my hint. That's my hint for the guy who has the action figure. Yeah, it takes place after 4-ish. It's this is beautiful. Love this landscape. Huh. In the afterlife, she doesn't have her glasses, which I think she uses as a localized bomb to kill herself to avoid capture. What? There we go, yes. She uses her necklace? What happens to her glasses then? Oh wait, no, her glasses are the last thing that show up in the cutscene. Like after she blows up, you see the glasses spin on the floor and it runs toward the camera. So that's what I'm thinking. But still, nonetheless, if she, yeah, this is always an interesting question about ghosts, right? Is like, how recently do they need to have been in contact with their worldly artifacts before they are represented in their ghostly forms? And Julia losing her glasses at the moment of self-destruction means they don't show up on her ghost. I guess at that point you're beyond being near or far-sighted, so you're no worse for wear. Another thing that, I mean, Almeida clearly has a bigger personality than Fukushima, and the fact that he's got a franchise of himself with these toy objects is pretty great. personal image of yourself. You know, I've wondered that. How much of it is owed to people's expectation of what you should look like as a ghost versus how you want to see yourself. I mean, the advantage of being, I mean, even if you are nearsighted as a ghost, at least, you know, running into walls isn't going to be a problem, right? Let's see, where are we at on our collection here? Just missing number 7. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be doing there. I can absolutely see him like this in an investor meeting. I can also see him like this in an investor meeting. And this as well in an investor meeting. That's Almeida. So I am looking for number 7? Well, it'll tell me when I get it. Yeah, I like to think of them as ghosts as well. I think that the weirdness being paired with a sort of second sight. Oh wait, no, number 7's at the post office. That's right. Well, you know what? We're about to exhaust the machine, so why not? Is that the weirdness and the style is connected to the sort of third eye, second sight that Harmon has. And now no one in town can get another. That movie about the ring, I'm not sure if that is supposed to be a reference to a particular kind of movie, like a pop culture reference that would have been current at the time the game was released, or if it is a reference to some sort of analog of, like Garcian's Vision Ring. His rings are very closely connected to superpowers in this world. While arguable, yes, Time Zombie, I think that conservation of energy might not be one of Killer 7's priorities. Oh yeah, yeah, no, this is a world that does not admit much subtlety. I seem to remember that from, at least I remember the sort of like Shelter Kids storyline relating to Julia Kasugi, who I think was sort of like adopted or taken in by the international, I think, some sort of international coalition at an early age and turned into an assassin, which happens elsewhere in the game. And this would be... I think if this... Is this the drugstore or the post office?
Are you another one of them reporters?
Drugstore, that's right.
Oh, you still here? What you need? Looking for Almeida, I couldn't care less about that disco fraud.
Yeah, you're right.
I won't have anything to do with him. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm glad the town has flourished, but do you have any idea how many creeps with that weird smile have moved in?
Yeah, this is one of the things that Almeida did to his town once he got the Yakimos. He turned it into his own sort of city. So there's like, kind of along the same lines where he is clearly not in the same level as Fukushima, and also how Garcian views him as small time. Like, everybody sees that he is from not from like a, I don't know, like an educated, upwardly mobile background, right? That he is a postal worker who made it big, and that's like his characterization consistently through other people's eyes. And I think the way that I read the significance of that, it partly is used to sort of explain why he is so outrageously different from other antagonists in the game, but also how, like, to sort of show exactly how far the Yakimo could get you if you have this this tract, even a fraction of it, that you can excel. Oh, that's gonna blind me. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is an interesting reading, Sim. I appreciate hearing that. Oh god, hi. I probably should have looked around before I ran out there, huh? There we go. Oh, hi. And yeah, regarding the pompadour, big hairstyles are absolutely a theme of this level. Really, it refunds the blood cost of the shot. Interesting, I didn't know that. And let's just leave.
Yeah, I know him. Almeida, right? He's a good man. I'm not way into him or anything. He did his job, but didn't excel. He's one of those guys nobody notices. I kind of think he was just lucky. But it is strange. What? No, just talking to myself. I mean, how could a lowly postal worker take over such a big corporation? It could have been me. He's hardly worth the shirt on his back. What an asshole. He sold the damn town. He sold our souls. That's how he got that position, the damn fake.
Well, that's fine. I think at this point I'm resigned to inefficient strategies. Thank you, though. Look how Almeida has made himself the face of the mail service here. Yeah, the new money versus old money. And what's interesting is usually when you have that sort of dynamic, it's the old money that doesn't respect the new money. But in this case, it's like literally everybody. Even people who would have aspirations don't respect him. Oh, let's turn that around, get some space. There we go. Oh. Oh, easy enough. That tip is welcome. Oh, I love the way the bridge lines and the shadows make up this composition, along with the completely unmarked space in the sky on the bridge. That's beautiful. And yes, you would think that somebody like Mask would have this sort of backflip, but Kevin apparently is the acrobat in the group. Oh, interesting. Maybe I'm able to just run around the giant smiles because the path is so twisty. Otherwise. Yeah, Sim, I agree. Oop. Let's give Khan as many boosts as we can.
Don't make me say it again. I'm a cleaner.
Sorry.
And yeah. Does crit lock on work on Almeida, or is that its own thing? Oh, there's somebody behind me. Wow, pincher attack. There we go. One does wonder how these Pompadour Remnant Psyches came to be available to Harmon. Most of the time, the only ghosts that we see, I think, are the ones who have had some sort of run-in with Harmon, unless these are the ghosts of the joggers, I guess, that you encounter. They did not even remove the glass warnings on the frames. What is this? "93 lies and 7 truths." That seems proverbial enough that it could have been a quotable thing from this game. Quotable line from this game. Oh man, this. I kind of remember this. Yeah. Brutal. I love that that's what you get as your, okay, more relaxed way of life as a suit. Powerful society. Perfect City. Human Resource Development. Texas Bronco, that's right. 4 continents on World Peace. 4 people on the poster. Oh, thank you. I find that puzzles like this are okay to kind of fumble with the first time, maybe even the second time, but they're also not always the most entertaining or kind of focal things to work through on stream. So I appreciate that. Bronco. Perfect City. This is question number 3, number 6, that's right. Actually, I think it's worth getting it wrong just to see the "Long live the president" message that does not even tell you that you failed. It just sort of passively ignores you and gives you the slogan and sends you on your way.
Sorry, only First Life employees are allowed from this point.
This is an emergency message from Mr. Almeida. Let Mr. Smith through. I repeat, let Mr. Smith through.
Are you Mr. Smith? My sincere apologies, Mr. Smith. Please forgive me. But I'll tell you something, though. Even we don't know what goes on inside this building. Anyway, please, come in.
I feel like there are other stories that do this. You have to fight through massive defenses to arrive, yet you are invited. Let's see. So you say the charged mask shot takes care of those guys and returns the blood. I'm going to give this a shot. Holy cow, that's beautiful. Thank you for that tip. Actually, it returns more than the cost of the shot. Because I am coming out of this with profit. Alright, this is a good place to save, and actually, given the hour, this is actually a good place to call the stream. Next time we will start with the beginning of Almeida's fight. And yeah, Sim, thank you very much for showing up and giving me some great tips, and thank you everybody for coming out and participating in chat. I will be picking this up back up on Tuesday, and thank you everybody for coming out. I hope you have a great night. And for everybody who is under the smoke, I wish you the healthiest of breathing. Have a great night.